Hey, what's up everybody? It's Rutech, and today I will be talking about the 5 best gaming monitors that you can get for $200. In my personal opinion, $200 is the best price point for an above average 1080p gaming monitor and is where you truly will find quality. Obviously, if you're spending $200, you're going to want a high refresh rate monitor, so not to worry, every single monitor that I will be going over today will have a 144Hz refresh rate. I don't want to waste any time, so before we dive straight into discussing these monitors, I would really appreciate it if you checked out my channel. I post PC tech videos among other things. Also, if you have any comments or questions as the video goes along, be sure to drop a comment. If you like the video, drop a like. And if you enjoy the content that you're seeing, drop a sub, it really helps out the channel. Alright, so none of these monitors are in any particular order, so keep that in mind as I go over these top 5, but I will mention my favorite at the end of the video. So let's dive straight into it with the number 5 monitor, which is the Acer XFA 240 bmjdpr monitor. It's 24 inches, has a 144Hz refresh rate, a 1 millisecond response time, a resolution of 1080p on its TN panel, and has built-in speakers. Clearly, this monitor is the full package. It also is G-Sync and FreeSync compatible, so you won't have to worry about screen tearing if you have a compatible system. What's especially great about this monitor is its movement capabilities. It has a 90-degree pivot, meaning if you want this monitor to stand vertical instead of horizontally, it can rotate the 90 degrees. It also has a height adjustment and a tilt adjustment, so this monitor can absolutely adjust to what feels comfortable. For ports, it has one DisplayPort, one HDMI, and one DVI. As for aesthetics, it's a pretty good looking monitor, especially because its bezels aren't large at all. Overall, a great monitor from Acer indeed. Next up, we have the Dell 24S2421HGF monitor. It's 23.8 inches, has a 144Hz refresh rate, a 1 millisecond response time, and is full HD at 1080p. No need to worry about screen tearing, as this monitor does come with AMD FreeSync built in. It also has anti-glare, so if you're in a room that has like a window directly behind you, for example, you won't have to worry about that interrupting your picture. Just like the last one, it has height adjustment and tilt adjustment, but it does not have pivot adjustment. So you can't rotate the display 90 degrees for a vertical experience. Now most people don't do that anyway, so I wouldn't say this is a big problem at all. As for the looks, it's a pretty minimalistic design, but in a good way. The bezels on this monitor are pretty small, so I'm sure this monitor would be capable of a dual or triple setup. For ports, you have 2 HDMI, 1 DisplayPort, and an audio port. Overall, a great gaming monitor. Now I have had Dell monitors before and they have never let me down, so Dell is definitely a company you can trust in terms of displays. Okay, and number 3 on the list, we have the LG 24GL650 monitor. 24 inches in size with a 144Hz refresh rate, a 1 millisecond response time, and a full HD 1920 by 1080p resolution. It does have FreeSync, as you would expect, which like I said, eliminates screen tearing. A really cool and interesting feature this monitor has is something called black stabilizer, which will prevent you from missing things because they're in darker areas in the virtual world. As for the physical side of things, this monitor has a cool design as you see when it's flipped to its backside. A really cool red and dark gray color scheme and an interesting layout for the ports, which by the way are 1 DisplayPort, 2 HDMI ports, and an audio jack. This monitor also has height adjustment, tilt, and pivot, so yes, this monitor can rotate the 90 degrees for the vertical look if that's what you're interested in. The bezels are a little bit on the thicker side, so I would not recommend using this monitor for a side-by-side setup, but instead just using it as a single monitor by itself. Next on the list, we have the AOC C24G1 monitor. It's 24 inches with a 1500R curve, a 144Hz refresh rate, and of course, you guessed it, a 1 millisecond response time, and a full 1080p resolution. It also has the usual AMD FreeSync and a direct current backlight, which means that there won't be any flickering, which causes eye strain. The bezels on this monitor are very small, so out of all the monitors I've listed so far, this is easily the best one to use for a multi-monitor setup. Alongside that, this is also a pretty cool looking monitor as it has a sleek, sharp design both front and back. AOC has really stepped up their game in the gaming monitors department, so it's cool to see a testament to that being this monitor. Anyway, this display also has height and tilt adjustment, so no need to worry about neck aches, and also a very sturdy stand, which means no wobbling. Finally, number 1, we have the Sceptre curved C275B 144RN monitor. Now this one is 27 inches versus the usual 24 inches that monitors 5 through 2 were. It's also curved, has a 144Hz refresh rate, 3 millisecond response time, and is 1080p. Now this one is 27 inches, so if you're more interested in bigger monitors for gaming, then this is definitely the monitor for you. It also, of course, has AMD FreeSync. Now this monitor has super small bezels, so this is easily going to be the best monitor on this list for a multi-display setup, if you like 27-inch screens. Otherwise, I recommend the number 2 monitor that I just mentioned. If you've ever looked around on Amazon for gaming monitors, you know that Sceptre is a pretty popular brand in that department, so definitely a good company to be buying one from. For ports, it has 2 HDMIs, 1 DisplayPort, and 1 3.5mm audio jack. Now, something you will want to keep in mind with this monitor though is that it only has tilt adjust. So if you want height adjustment or pivot, this probably isn't the best monitor to go for. So yeah, those are the 5 best monitors for the price point of $200. So which one is the best? This is a tough question to answer as all of these are seriously really good and you can't really go wrong. If I had all 5 of these in front of me and I had to choose one though, it would have to be the AOC C24G1. It has slim bezels, a fully adjustable height, tilt, and pivot, and comes from AOC, a great company that has specialized in displays for over half a century. It's also 24 inches, which I highly prefer over 27 inches as the pixels are much smaller and less noticeable. It has a 144Hz refresh rate, meaning you will see every single frame below 145 frames per second if your computer's capable, making for a very smooth gameplay experience. I remember when I first switched over to 144Hz, and wow, it is a huge difference compared to 60 or even 75Hz displays. With its 1 millisecond response time, your gameplay will not only be very snappy, but it will also be ready for competition, as it gives you an edge over people who have a higher latency monitor because you'll see things happen before other players do. It's 1080p, so you'll not have to ever really worry about whether a game will run at 1440p or 4K on your gaming system. Frankly, I still think 1080p monitors are perfectly fine in 2020 as long as you're using a 24-inch or below display because they still output a sharp, crisp picture. Anyway, the AOC C24G1 is a fantastic monitor, but again, the other 4 are just as great. After all, these are the absolute best 5 for $200. Don't forget, all links to the monitors are below in the description. So that will do it for this video. If you plan on purchasing one of these or have purchased one, let me know in the comments below, as I am sure the community would love to hear about it and your experience with it. So yeah, that will do it for this video. If you like the video, drop a like. Have any comments or questions, drop a comment below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. And if you like the content you're seeing, drop a sub. It really helps out the channel and helps me push out videos like these. Thanks for watching. Peace out.